Hello, I am your psychological mentor, Park Sen. Today I will share my experiences, and it will definitely be a story that greatly helps you. You all know Charles Darwin, right? He wrote On the Origin of Species. I think it was in 1859. Do you know what On the Origin of Species is trying to convey? People will talk about the survival of the fittest and natural selection. Well, that's correct. That part is indeed an important aspect. But that's not all he wanted to talk about, Charles Darwin. But imperialism adopted that part as if it were everything. So by dominating other ethnic groups, they justified it by saying, we are a superior race, so it's natural for you to be under our rule and even to be eradicated. They interpreted it to suit their own interests in this way. But what Charles Darwin actually wanted to convey is much deeper than that. I'll tell you what that is. It is that all living organisms have evolved to avoid competition as much as possible. All living organisms have evolved to avoid competition as much as possible. This is actually what Charles Darwin truly wanted to say. Everyone, although I originally started in 2004, even when I was in my second or third year of university, I wasn't really thinking about creating a psychology course that didn't exist in our country. Honestly, I'm not sure if I was doing it unconsciously, little by little, but I hadn't concretized it or set up a complete plan. So what I did was prepare for the TOEIC exam, and since I didn't have money, I studied on my own without going to an academy. Truly, through dark paths, with the modem being really slow back then, I studied diligently, and for 3 to 4 months, without missing a single day, I did shadowing for more than 3 hours every day. And as a result, I got a perfect score in the listening comprehension and scored over 900. You can do it without attending an academy. But anyway, I got my TOEIC score, and then I also obtained a level 1 word processing certificate and other computer proficiency certificates by just reading books and studying on my own. Since I didn't have money, I was preparing in this way with the thought of wanting to enter a large corporation, a so-called major company. I continued like that until the first semester of my senior year in college. So I was getting excellent grades, covering everything with A+ and managing everything well. Then towards the end of the first semester of my senior year, I suddenly had this thought, why am I competing with others? Why do I have to compete? Isn't there something I can do without competing? Then, starting at the age of 21, I began earning 1,500 through hypnosis and giving lectures. With those experiences, I realized that I enjoy persuading and guiding others. So I thought, why not create a class that doesn't exist in the academy world? One that eliminates the symptoms of civic-mindedness students have and enhances their concentration. I thought about how much students struggle with that and decided not to compete. I just need to live true to myself. So without any appointment, I went into the director's office, persuaded again, and built my own world. From my 20s, I lived confidently, earning the highest income, even in the billions. But the reason I could achieve this, yes, I think in a way like Charles Darwin said, I evolved to avoid competition as much as possible. In fact, I have never truly considered others as my competitors. Since realizing this, my only competitor has been myself. So I have focused on surpassing myself, considering myself as my competitor, and have strived diligently to create a better version of myself. I have rarely thought of others as my competitors. I will continue to make consistent efforts to maintain this approach in the future. So if you look closely, I believe you too will be able to feel the same way. So instead of following what others do, I try to avoid competition as much as possible. To do that, as I always say, you need to constantly observe the world with a high level of focus and immersion, paying attention to these phenomena. As you do this, there will come a time when you notice why there are no entities or people creating such a high level of focus and immersion in certain areas. Then you can create that aspect yourself. Since it's an area that people haven't thought of yet, you can minimize competition and confidently establish yourself as a powerful authority, an expert in that field. Thus, it has evolved in a way that avoids the most competition. I hope many of you will reflect on these words and apply them in your lives. So please reflect on today's video, and I hope it was helpful. Let's wrap it up here for today. If you found the video helpful, please subscribe, like, and set up notifications. See you next time. Thank you.